I know. Welcome back. Welcome back to all participants after this short break. Before we restart with the presentations of the topics on Destination 2, I would like to make you aware of the brokerage events on Cluster 4 organized by NCP, the NCP networks, Idealist, NCP for Industry, and Cosmos. They are organizing 3 thematic matchworking opportunities. The space brokerage event organized by Cosmos took place on 8 December, but the system remains open. So if of interest, you can go visit the link. The industry brokerage event organized by NCP for Industry will take place on 14 December. This is Wednesday this week, as we announced in the previous block. And you also have indicated the link here on this slide to register. And the digital brokerage event organized by Idealist will take place on 15-16 December. This is Thursday, Friday this week. The events are free of charge and open for everyone who is interested in meeting potential partners. And there is also another event organized by NCP for Industry, discovering AMI 2030, the European Advanced Materials Initiative, which takes place on 16 December as well. After this announcement, I will now proceed to our next block of topic presentations. And these topics are on the call on resilient value chains 2023. And the topics are focused on improving the resilience and preparedness of EU businesses, especially SMEs and startups. I would like to welcome and give the floor to Runshaf Andreasen from the Directorate General on GROW.
Yes.
Please, Rune, the floor is yours.
Okay, so this topic is on boosting generation and diffusion of advanced technologies and SMEs. This is a coordination and support action. First, a bit about the scope. EU industrial ecosystems should adapt to the post-crisis economic environment. SMEs should be supported by adequate actions and policy measures to adapt to changed value chains and demand. It is essential for companies to map their supply chain in order to identify critical dependencies and weaknesses. There's a need for developing methodology or a model that can assist companies in detecting and anticipating disruptions in their supply chains. Implementing new technologies is turning supply chain processes and activities towards less uncertainty and complexity. And that would be technologies like robotics, AI, IoT, blockchain, edge computing, which will be the key drivers to achieve this also along with AR, VR, and B2B digital platforms, which can lead to more collaborative relations between colleagues, peers, and employees. Big data analytics and 3D printing can also be mentioned in this context. Projects under this topic will be lump sum funded, and it is foreseen that 3 to 5 projects will be funded. As you can see on the slide, a bit about the expected outcomes. We expect there to be built a model for each of the 14 industrial ecosystems to identify disruptions and technological opportunities, alert on disruptions, identify alternative suppliers and technologies, use the cluster organizations to make pilot projects for industrial ecosystems to build bridges between so-called tech-savvy SMEs and less tech-savvy SMEs, explore collaboration opportunities between these different types of SMEs, increase the adoption of advanced technologies in SMEs, and thereby help expand market potential of critical technologies, and demonstrate finally how technology can help SMEs reduce consumption of materials and energy. That's it from my side on this topic.
Thank you, Rune. I would like to give the floor now to Karel van der Porten, Policy Officer at DG GROW, who will present the next topic, Resilience 0144 on Affordable Housing District Demonstrator. Karel, please.
Can we also share the slides?
I'm not sharing the slides. Sorry, I thought I was sharing. Okay. Can you see the slide now?
Yes, I can see that. If you can make it just maybe full screen. Perfect, wonderful.
Yes, thank you, sorry.
No problem. Can I start?
Yes.
Wonderful, thank you very much. Good afternoon to all of you. My name is Karel van der Porten, Policy Officer, DG GROW on Social Economy and Social Housing. I'm happy to present this Affordable Housing District Demonstrator, which is a 10 million euro call under this cluster 4. The contribution per project is expected to be 5 million, and it's a coordination and support. No, it's an innovative action. So the last element is not correct. The intention of this call is to be framed under the renovation wave, first of all, with a straightforward link to the new European Bauhaus. And it wants to demonstrate innovative processes, innovative methodologies in the renovation of social and affordable housing districts. Replicability is very important, so therefore this demonstration of lighthouses is very important for us. I will, in the next slide, explain how that might take place. This aim and why it is captured also under cluster 4 is because it wants to target specifically the integration of SMEs in a multi-stakeholder partnership at the local level. So the industrial partners coming from the social housing sector, but also SMEs in construction, as well as civil society organizations, as well as public authorities engaged in the development and renovation of affordable and social housing dwellings need to be captured. Demonstrators should go the extra mile in terms of renovation, because of course renovation today is focusing mainly on energy efficiency, and that is of course a a given and it's a non-discussing element. But we want to provide with this specific call an extra opportunity to, for example, add social innovation methodologies, for example, in terms of tenant consultation, cooperation with the wider communities. We want to allow also an opportunity for technological innovation to test new technologies, offering, for example, social aid to the tenants and empowering better communication between the agencies and the tenants, but also amongst tenants themselves. And we want to promote green innovation, for example, in promoting more biodiversity, access to green spaces, but also circular interventions in the construction process. So there is a very broad scope and potential that is possible within this call. And the last element is certainly going also into the partnership. There I mentioned already the cross-sectoral partnership, so related to industries on the one hand, but also the communities that are at stake in social and affordable housing, and how these models of long-term engagement can be built in a renovation process. To some, this is a project that allows to go the extra mile when a renovation project is under development or will be developed or is already on stage. And this extra mile can be tackled in one of the four or more of the four elements that I just mentioned. So technological innovation, social innovation, innovative partnerships, and green innovation. If you can go to the next slide, please.
The next slide is the...
Okay, no, I thought, yeah, sorry, I thought there was more in detail, but basically I explained everything that should be known at this stage. So,
okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karel. And this brings us to the question and answer session. If you have any questions, please go to slide.com and use the event code InfoDay to post your questions. When submitting, please indicate your name, and also in case the question is specific for one of the two topics presented in this blog, indicate the topic code, or alternatively the speaker, the presenter. We will give a few minutes for the participants to submit their questions. It seems that there are no questions coming in. Well, we can still wait for a couple of minutes until we reach the end of this agenda point. from 15:55 until 16. We will have a short break of 5 minutes before going to the topics on safe and sustainable by design, chemicals and materials.
Yolanda, as you may have not been informed, I noticed that Javier, who covers the next session, is already with us, and he has no problem to start now, if you wish.
I think we have discussed it with the colleagues dealing with the streaming, and it was a bit cumbersome to modify the schedule for the breaks, if I understood it correctly.
Well, if we continue with the next session, there's no problem.
There's no problem?
Yeah,
Okay.
so maybe for our audience as well, since they follow one straight session according to the agenda, it's okay to go if you agree.
For me, either way is perfectly fine for me.
Okay, I see Javier is okay as well, according to the chat. So
Okay.
let's have it started.
Okay, then we don't need this, and we will then move to the part to the coal resilient value chains 2023, to the part on safe and sustainable by design chemicals and materials with 3 topics. Javier Sanfelix from the Directorate General of Research Innovation will be presenting these 3 topics for you. Javier, please, the floor is yours.
Yolanda. I will be presenting the topics on SSBD, and before entering into the details, I would like to explain here one aspect that covers the 3 of them, is that they are linked to the recently published Commission recommendation on safe and sustainable by design assessment framework for chemicals and materials. So the topic description of these 3 calls include a link to our RTD website, where the applicants can find the document available, and also the technical reports developed by the Joint Research Center, who are also part of this SSBD framework. This is because the 3 topics are expected to contribute to the testing phase that we launched with the publication of this recommendation. So it is a common aspect to take into account to the 3 topics that I will present. So now if I can go to the next slide, please.
Yes.
On the first topic on innovative methods for safety and sustainability assessments of chemicals and materials, here we want to continue developing these methods for safety and sustainability assessments and make them available to industry, policymakers, and public authorities. The outcomes of these projects are expected to contribute to different European policies and strategies related to chemicals and materials. And this can be, for example, the new proposal for eco-design for sustainable products regulation, or product policies like EU Ecolabel, but as well the revision of the REACH regulation and the classification, labeling, and packaging. The outcomes of this topic should be in the proper format in order to continue further update in validation processes or standardization. And under the scope, for example, in the area of safety, here we want to make progress with in vitro and in silico testing, and also with new approach methodologies to develop alternatives to animal testing. In the area of sustainability, we would like to move towards assessment of absolute sustainability, and for that take into account also planetary boundaries. For this call, the application of the developed methods can be for existing chemicals or for newly developed ones. And the project should cover at least 3 applications. And the selection of these 3 applications should be justified with a socioeconomic assessment. Also, the selection of the methods to be developed or improved should come with a gap analysis justifying the needs. Part of this, the results of this project, of course, should be fair, findable, accessible, interoperable, and reusable, as well as the data generated. The indicative budget for the call is 29 millions, with a contribution of 6 to 8 millions per project, which means that we will fund around 4 projects under this call. It is a research and innovation action, and projects should achieve TRL 6 by the end of the project. On the next topic, the next call on integrated approach for impact assessment of safe and sustainable chemicals and materials. The objective of this call is to develop these integrated approaches in order to make informed decisions that are impact-based, of course, considering health, environment, and socioeconomic impact. The results should be made available to industry policymakers and public authorities with the aim of developing guidelines that can facilitate decision-making when we are considering several sustainability criteria. Under the scope of this call, we want to have the case studies selected based on the societal relevance. So the proposals have to provide this justification. And the project should also include a demonstration of the validated approach within the project. And this is induced to facilitate the acceptance of this integrated approach by different stakeholders. Here again, we expect outcomes to be fair on data and the approaches developed. This project is expected to have collaboration with the previous project that I mentioned, and that applies also for the project before that I forgot to mention this point. These two are expected to, projects funded under these 2 calls, 21 and 22, are expected to collaborate among them, and also potential synergies with the PARC, the Partnership on the Risk Assessment of Chemicals, as well as the Joint Research Center. Here we have an indicative budget of 15 million, expected contribution per project 3 to 4 million, which means about 4 projects for this call. It's a research and innovation action, and projects should achieve TRL 5 at the end. And for the last topic, Resilience 123 on computational models for the development of safe and sustainable by design chemicals and materials. Here, the objective is to develop these computational models supported by artificial intelligence for the design of new chemicals and materials, and that integrates the safe and sustainable by design framework. Outcomes of this call should accelerate the innovation capacity of industry and SMEs with cost-effective tools that can also assist to make industry more agile to respond to external and internal influences, like it can be, for example, market demands or new regulatory requirements. The scope of this call is, in principle, to prioritize the application of these computational models for the development of alternatives to substances of concern. The innovative modeling software should integrate predictive tools and forecasting of the sustainability performance of the chemical or the material along the entire life cycle. And they should also should aim at exploring which are the technical solutions that are the most appropriate, taking into account safety and sustainability aspects of the whole life cycle. Proposals should address as well information exchange along the value chain, because we really need to consider, as I said, the entire life cycle and what will happen at the end of life treatment, and this is to be integrated in the computational model. The project should include the validation of the tools developed against existing data, and also this application or this validation process should be applied by external users. And this is a very important aspect for this call, and we really hope and expect that the proposals take into account the time needed once they have the prototype of the model and the tool the time needed to perform this validation within the length of the project. Here again, we are promoting the fair data principles for the data generated and the models, and we have indicative budget of 29 millions with expected contribution of 6 to 7 millions per project, meaning that we will fund around 4 projects. It's a research and innovation action, and projects are expected to achieve TRL 6 at the end. And this is all from my side. I'm happy to address any questions for clarification on these 3 topics.
Many thanks, Javier, for the presentation on these 3 topics. We will indeed now open the floor for questions submitted via Slido. Remember that if you have a question, you should go to slido.com and you should use the event code InfoDay. Also, please remember to put your name in the question, and if the question is specific for one of the 3 topics, you may also indicate it to make the answer more straightforward. You can also scan the QR code on your mobile to get to the Slido app if you don't want to do it on the browser, or if it's more convenient to you. There are no questions coming in, but we will give still some minutes to the participants to formulate and submit any doubts related to these topics. While we wait for questions, let me also remind you that there will be some brokerage events organized by national contact points, and specifically the one for industry will be taking place next Wednesday this week, 14th December. And participation is open to everyone and free of cost. It's a good opportunity to meet potential project partners with good complementarity to build up a project in the areas of destination 1 and 2.
Yolanda, may I ask you to
Yes.
give it a bit of more time because it
Yes.
seems that there is a delay between what we are broadcasting now and on the
And
platform.
what is on on YouTube? Yes. We still have time according to the schedule
So
that we had.
indeed, thanks a lot. So maybe we can wait a bit more.
Yes. Hmm. The question and answer session was meant to start at 4:15 actually, so we are still ahead of time.
Perfect. Then I can tell you when exactly the Slido part, the Q&A, is visible on the platform. So we should expect questions from the audience.
Okay.
Yolanda, I see that
Yes.
the Slido card is already on the platform. So normally
We
our
should.
followers should be able to send their questions.
Hmm. I guess if there are no questions on the previous block, we could also answer them, or are the speakers gone? Karel and Runa.
Yolanda, not for the time being, but there might be a small delay or a big delay, and which disrupted a bit the flow of questions. So I suggest, since we still have time, and we're
We
not
keep on
beyond
waiting.
schedule, to wait still a bit. And in the meantime, we will be investigating in the back office if there is any technical issue.
Okay.
Yolanda, we have also pushed a question, as you can
Yes.
see, to inform the live audience that we can receive questions still. So hopefully they will start coming.
There's still not questions, no questions coming in.
Apparently, no question yet. Some colleagues say that there was a technical issue and some may have not seen the session at all.
Mm-hmm.
But until we investigate,
Mm.
well, let's see if we can move to the next session. Give me a couple of minutes and I will come back to
Yes.
you, Yolanda.
Mhm.
Colleagues, now we see Yolanda on the screen. Now we see.
But there are still no questions.
Yeah, but you are on the screen and before you were not.
Mm-hmm. Maybe if there are no questions, we can start the next block of presentations now a bit ahead of time.
Listen, sorry to interrupt.
Mhm.
Yes,
Yeah.
maybe we can continue a little bit later because apparently on YouTube there was a duplication of some presentations or they were not broadcasted. So until people catch up, maybe we can have this 10 minutes break so
Okay.
people catch up and we are on real time on what Milan will present, and then we can do the Q&A for Milan at least.
Okay. Okay. So then I leave it here with this slide, and I wait until 4:35. ¿Eh? Entra, si quieres, pero cierra. ¿Eh? No.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Very good.
Give me a second. Because no.
Yolanda, you had it correct, and we are live. So is it
Okay.
the correct slide, the one that you want to present?
Yes, but I was wondering if you can hear me or not.
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay.
If this is the correct slide, it can go full screen, and then we can start with a new session. If I may just inform those who are following the event, there might have been some technical issues. So for those who have not managed to follow the previous session and to submit their questions, I suppose we will try to address them through the different other channels possible, through the funding and tenders portal, through the platform that you are now following the event. And of course, in the meantime, we will be investigating what are the technical issues behind.
Just give me 1 second because I have lost my own screen now.
Yolanda,
Yes.
we see your screen
You
alive.
see, is it
alive.
full?
Yes, you just don't have the presentation mode, but we see your screen.
All right. Okay. Now,
Okay, it's fine now.
I am sorry. Welcome back. We will now proceed with the last part of this session, the last block of presentations. As it has been announced, there seems to be some sort of technical problem. However, what is sure is that the previous presentations have been recorded and are available to watch on YouTube, so you can go back to them, and we will also do our best to answer any questions that you could have on that previous session. But now I would like to give the floor to Milan Rohol, Policy Officer at DG Grow, who will present the 6 topics related to raw materials for EU open strategic autonomy and successful transition to a climate neutral and circular economy. Milan, please, the floor is yours.
Great, thanks, Yolanda, and my really great thanks to all colleagues from HADEA and RTD who are preparing this long marathon of presentations and patience on everybody behind on the other side, on the participant side. I hope that next year we'll meet in person. So, I would go through 6 topics which we have planned for the 2023 year. First, I would like to highlight that these topics are coming from the Action Plan on Critical Raw Materials from 2020. So they reflect and support this action plan. Plus, there are very recent developments, very fast developments regarding the announced Critical Raw Materials Act, which we are just drafting at the moment, and which should be published before Easter next year. And that's why, especially for the policy actions and also next year, we would like to ask all participants for flexibility, for patience. It's likely that not this year topics, but next year topics will be modified probably to reflect the Critical Raw Materials Act. So let's dive into the topics. I would like to make several cross-cutting points here so that I don't repeat myself every time in each topic. First thing, we have a set of topics which go through the value chain from extraction, which is mining, processing and refining, recycling, and you've heard the topic which is trying to find alternatives to existing products or materials, like topic 137, which has been presented in the previous sessions on advanced magnets, finding alternatives to neodymium and other rare earth-based magnets. So that's one. Second, the scope of our topics is minerals and metals. All the other materials may marginally be touched, but this is not the focus. Focus are minerals and metals, and particularly critical raw materials. There is actually one which is not necessarily a mineral or metal, and is the natural rubber. So that can be addressed as well. It's on the list of critical materials, but that's very important for the scope. We are not looking for plastics here. What we want are in all actions, R&D actions, so the research and innovation actions and innovation actions, we would like to have a drive from industry. So the projects should come from the industry. The ideas, it should serve the industry, no matter at which level it is. The drive must be present. Does not mean that the coordination has to be industrial, but the pull from industry has to be very present. That's very important. And for the innovation actions, we of course ask strategy for full-scale development after the project in the EU. So that's very important that it's very clear where the public money, the multi-millions are flowing, and how the taxpayers of the EU will benefit from all this research. Unlike in the past, what happened that some of the projects have been upscaled to TRL 6, 7, and then pulled to outside of the EU for semi-industrial industrial installations set up, and we lost the competitive edge in this field. This happened also in raw materials area. Another thing is most of our topics we go for sustainability, so they reflect the we ask to reflect the sustainable principle for raw materials which we have published. It's a very simple set of economic, social, environmental principles, easy to adhere to, but we need to reflect. We want projects to reflect on that, and we want projects to be more sustainable than the current ones, current production. And very important information which I would like to share with you. We are mapping different production projects or development projects in so-called United Nations Classification Framework for Resources, UNFC. It is in the context, and we are collecting data on economic viability, technical feasibility, and the resource confidence. So we would like to see also maturity of the projects over the time. So all data collected in the projects from mining or exploration mining, recycling, processing, refining can be formatted under UNFC, and that's what we like the projects to do. So we have a real-time awareness of where we are in maturity of the projects, and also the performance of the projects. So that's another one, and there is one slide on the scope of the countries which we target. These are mostly, of course, member states and associated countries. That's absolute must. We would like to prioritize like-minded countries. We would like to, in OECD, African Union countries, there where we started to build the strategic partnership on raw materials, and then Latin American countries. And we also signed partnerships with the Ukraine and Kazakhstan. So these are the priority countries which we would like to target in our goals. We want to avoid that we increase dependence on certain countries like China in our by developing our technology. So that's very, very important. Not to put all eggs in one basket. We want to have diversification of supply and also from different resources. So that's very important to realize in our topics. And that's why this focus of different countries here. Thank you. Next slide. So let's go to the first topic. Very good. So here we start with the mining topic. So what we are trying to do, we go with the TRL levels lower. We finish the cycles. We maximize the potential of innovation actions in mining area in the EU. The community is relatively not developed yet. We would like to come with new, more sustainable, more effective approaches for extraction of raw materials in the EU. That's very important. We would like to increase our own domestic supply so that we don't have to rely so much on imports. At the moment, we are importing in many cases of minor metals practically 100%, which is really not a favorable position for the EU. And of course, what we want to have the technologies which are environmentally friendly. They are energy saving, they are water saving, they are more selective. So that's something which should contribute definitely to the Green Deal and climate objectives. Okay, here we have quite sizable budgets. We want mid-sized projects of around 5 million euro. So ideally, 5 projects could be financed. Thank you. Next slide. We continue in the value chain. So from mining, we go to processing and refining. Here I would like to highlight that we exclude the end-of-life products from this topic. This will be covered in the other one, in the other 2 topics. So I will come to this one first. So here is to focus on the low grade and complex ores and increase the performance in terms of efficiency, different types of efficiency, material, water, energy, and costs. So that's very, very important. This is the bridge between the mineral processing down to metallurgy. So all projects are welcome, and as this is the core topic for us, it's repeated quite often, and a similar topic is launched next year. Here we have a lot of good potential at higher tier levels, 6, 7. So that's where we would like the projects to go, and we have also a good budget for that. Next slide, please. Here we will target first topic on recycling technologies for critical raw materials from end-of-life products. So end-of-life products are here. There is even bigger budget for that. And we would like to target several waste streams like electric and electronic waste, photovoltaics, end-of-life vehicles, hard materials in the machine tools, and also wind turbines, but not the magnets. Specifically, permanent magnets would have the place in another topic, which I will explain later. So that's very, very important. And here we would like also to cover the whole value chain from collection of the waste, logistics, characterization, sorting, cleaning, refining, and purification, so that the whole process is well covered. Okay, so that's very important. Similar conditions as in the previous call, innovation action at quite high tier level, and focus on critical raw materials. Thank you. Next one. This topic is a little bit different. It's the follow-up of the last year topic on Earth observation systems, which we tried to, or the Earth observation technologies, which we wanted to apply for the area of minerals. And it's very important to realize that this topic is trying to develop IT tools to be used directly for regional exploration, for defining the volumes and rate of mining. So these are concrete things which are already happening around the world. We would like to monitor the secondary raw materials around Europe. We would like to also see, from the hazards point of view, the ground stability in the abandoned mining sites, and of course the environmental impacts of ongoing and previous mining operations. So we would like to combine Earth observation tools with the ground data, in situ data as well, so that our mining sector is more sustainable, more performant, and everybody knows real time what's happening, and much more transparent. That's very, very important for us. And here we would really like to have tools which are ready to use, similar to the ESA platforms in different areas, like hydrology, like forest use, and so on. Again, quite high tier levels, because we had already previous actions at lower tier levels before. Next one. Can we jump to the last one, and I will come back to this expert network as the last one. Is it possible to have the next slide?
I am already on the expert network.
Can we go?
Show?
Can we? Yeah, but can we go next slide? I come to the network next time because it's just in the block of the technologies.
Okay, now.
Okay, so that's the one. It's on recyclability and resource efficiency of rare earths-based magnets. So this is the end-of-life recycling topic. So is not only on recycling, is also on reuse and refurbishment and repurposing end-of-life magnets. So there is a wide variety of actions within this topic. It's highly important, especially in the light of the increased repower plan goals, where we would like to ramp up the wind production quite quickly. We know that the life of the magnets in wind turbines or electric cars is quite long, but still we want to be ready and take the potential which exists in the EU and use the magnet mass in the EU efficiently domestically, so that is not exported and treated outside in China usually. So that's very, very important. So we want more cost-effective and resource-efficient rare permanent magnets based on recycling, reuse, refurbishment, and so on. So that's very important. We want also magnets to be tested in real motors or generators here. So that's that the project results in something which is close to practical use in real life, and it's economic and of course environmentally friendly. So we can go to the so here is again the same format: innovation actions, TRL 6.7, where we want to finish, and quite a sizable budget as well. So we hope for 3 projects to be financed. Can we go to the previous topic? And as the last topic, if I'm not mistaken, is the critical raw materials network. So is the continuation of expert networks on critical raw materials, which we launched every 3 years to support our critical raw materials assessment. What is very important for us is to have I would say the keyword is flexibility, because the policy objectives are shifting. And as we've seen with the Fit for 55 package last year under Green Deal, with the Repower EU package this year, the policy objectives and targets are moving extremely fast. At the same time, also the strategic sectors are more and more specified. For example, now we are required to have more expertise in the area of defense, for example, which was not the case so much long ago, and there is a specific defense fund. But here, especially for the future technologies, that's very important to know what we have in strategic sectors as well, like the e-mobility, renewable energies, aerospace, or defense, digital technologies. So that's very, very important for us, or medical devices. So this is the scope where we go. Plus, we expand the assessment of individual critical raw materials from each assessment. We screen now over 85 individual raw materials. We added in the last assessment, which is not yet published, and depending on the final format of the Raw Materials Act, we will see how the list will be published next year. But we added also the noble gases like neon, krypton, and xenon, and we re-added the round wood, which we screened already in 2011 and 14, but then it was removed from the screening. But we see that we would like to have the proper information on that. So what we want is not a big consortium, but very solid consortium with an excellent external expert network. We would like the consortium to be proficient in checking individual raw materials. We would like them to help us to update the EU raw materials fishes for each of the materials, which we publish with each of the assessments. And we would like the project to help to organize us the workshops, validation workshop for the criticality assessment, and the provisional planning is 2025. So there is no surprise as in the past for the future. So it's good to have it indicated now, because then at the grant negotiation or grant preparation is difficult to change anything. Okay, so the basics are defined there. And of course, we would like to cover different stages of the or different aspects of raw materials, from production, to trade, recycling, substitution, prices, so market monitoring as well. This kind of expertise we expect from the consortium. Again, not big consortium, but good quality consortium. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Milan. But don't leave, please.
No, I'm
We will
waiting for
have
the
now.
questions.
Yes. And we have already a number of questions for you. First of all, UK and USA are OECD countries. Does it mean that they can only participate but cannot actually be funded by the European Union?
Well, it's semi-general question. However, I would start to answer that one, because what we allow is to participate all these mentioned countries in the consortia. Doesn't mean that they will be automatically funded. There is no automatic funding for the UK and the US and other big countries. However, in exceptional cases where justified, such entities may be decided to be funded on case-by-case basis. So there is a clear cascade of the rules how the funding can be given. In our calls, we don't see specifically the reason why these two countries should be financed. There is special mention on few countries under the that we encourage the participation of Canada, Ukraine, Africa, and Latin America countries in the Earth observation topic, but it doesn't mean that we would finance Canadian, for example, participation.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. I think the answer is clear. The next question: do these calls include textile raw materials?
Well, again, focusing mostly on minerals and metals. If we focus here on plastics, I think this is not what we cover here. What we target.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you have also mentioned it during the presentation. Now a question concerning the topic on decarbonization of extraction. It quotes the topic. It says technologies and methods for both open pit and underground mining. A single proposal has to develop technology addressing both open pit and underground mining.
No, it's I'm sorry for the legal definition. I know lawyers looking at this and or should have been there, right?
Yes.
But no, it's one or the other. It's
one or
not
the other.
Yes.
Okay, very clear. What the next question? What happens if we prepare a budget and during implementation prices explode and we cannot ensure anymore to meet the objectives? Is there a mechanism for this?
This is for a colleague for DG Research probably to answer. This is a very, I would say, high-level question for all the projects. And maybe I will go through the ones which I can answer.
Yeah, can you please make clear which standard and storage strategy should be used for data produced in projects? This is I guess also a more
it's a technical question.
Yes.
It's probably relates to the questions, for example, for the criticality network, and also for the projects where we expect the UNFC formatting. We are building the database in DigiGrow, and we are actually already for some time, and we are ready to engage with the individual projects. Actually, we are collecting the data on different investment projects around the member states already for several years. We hold such a database. Plus, on criticality network, we also have databases. So that's the project will engage with us, and that's fine.
Okay. Okay, thank you. The next participant, John Heinen, asks, I understand that there are no calls addressing deep sea mining.
Very correct.
Is correct, yes.
Very correct, yes. This is very specific this time that no deep sea mining is there.
Mm-hmm. And we have the last question so far. Is the budget of 7 million euro for innovation action aiming to reach TRL 7 considered suitable?
Well, it's the EC contribution, which is 7 million. The budget can be whatever size, and we announce the indicative budgets. So in some cases, the projects, I had a project in the past which was 20 million from the EU and 30 million almost budget, consuming the whole call budget, but it could be also the other way, very small projects. So it's an average.
Okay, thank you, Milan, for all these answers. Let's wait a little bit and see if we get some additional questions on Slido. Remember that if you have a question, you can go to slido.com, or you can scan the QR code. You enter the application, and then you should indicate the code for the event info day to submit your questions related to what has been presented.
It looks like we completely exhausted all the participants.
Yes, it seems so.
This is called Death by PowerPoint.
Maybe while we wait, I can announce again or remind the participants that there will be some brokerage events organized by the national contact points in the coming days, all taking place this week, except one that was last week. The one for related to industry, organized by the NCP for industry, is taking place on Wednesday, and to attend to these events and to register is free and open for everyone. So it can be an interesting occasion to maybe meet potential project partners for your project idea. There is also a space brokerage event that took place on 8 December last week, but the brokerage system remains open, and the digital brokerage event organized by Idealist will take place on 15th, 16th December. That's Thursday, Friday this week. And the NCP for Industry also invites all interested participants to the Discovering EMI 2030, the European Advanced Materials Initiative, on 16 December. As we are not getting any questions, maybe we should. Oh, there's a new question. Okay. What you happen to know what could be the most likely implications of the new Raw Materials Act to research innovation programs and to Cluster 4? This is clearly for you, Milan.
Yes. Well, at the moment, no clarity, but as we are developing, we are at this stage of writing impact assessment, actually finalizing impact assessment this week. We will see more, and that will be discussed in the next semester with the program committee. What could happen? But some of the topics may be refocused and towards the objectives. One of them is identifying the strategic projects for the EU. So that's something which may come. I cannot envisage at the moment what will happen. We received in the public consultation on 25th of November closed.
Yes.
We received over, I think, 500 inputs from different stakeholders. So quite a mass of suggestions on all different sides, including research and development, of course.
Okay. Well, if there are no more questions, maybe we may close the day. And thank you all for attending, participants for registering and viewing the presentations, and all the speakers for the slides and your contributions in the morning and the afternoon session. And we if you are interested, we have tomorrow the info day on space related topics, destination 5, and until then, I wish you all a very nice evening, and see you again tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, bye, colleagues. We see now this last slide. Sorry.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice evening.
Bye.
Thanks to everyone. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye bye. Have a nice evening.
Bye.